guys, so today I want to do a little beginner's guide to playing ukulele. So first off, there are many different types of ukuleles. This is like kind of your standard ukulele, soprano guy. There's bigger ukuleles that are tuned more like guitars. But it's like a mini guitar with 4 strings instead of 6. And they're super cheap to get. I have this Kohala, but there's a couple different brands that are cheap. Like you can spend $100 and get like a really decent ukulele. So you can also spend $30 and $50 and get something decent. So if you're like, I really want to get into an instrument, but I'm not sure where to start, ukuleles are great. They're also amazing to travel with. I can pop this thing in my book bag. I also have a little case for it, but book bag, whenever I go backpacking, I take this because it's like, I know that I want to have some kind of instrument around, but I don't want to carry around a guitar, which takes up a lot of luggage space. So this just like slips in a suitcase or whatever, and you're just jamming and you're chilling and you're having a good time. So first thing that you need to know, whether you've played an instrument or not, yes, ukuleles are very much like guitars, but they also have their own sound. They're much higher pitched. You see them in Hawaii a lot, but it's a very beautiful sound. It's a very distinct sound, and it's one of the easiest instruments to play. So when you first get your ukulele, you have to understand that this thing needs to be tuned, right? So when you hear this, like I'm gonna kind of make mine out of tune. See, it's just like, what the hell? Did somebody just grab in this thing? So first step is you want to tune your ukulele. If you have an ear to tune, that's amazing. If you're an instrumentalist, but this is tuned in C, G, E, A. It's G, G, C, E, A. And I have my little tuner here, which I use. If you're not like a trained, musician, you just go download a tuner app on iTunes. I have one. This one's called Guitar Toolkit. It's like $10. You can get one for free too. I would start with a free one, but this is great because it has a ton of instruments and chords and metronomes and scales and stuff. But basically, what you're gonna do is let's see if you can see this. It might be a little tricky, but see how it kind of goes to the G right there? And then I go to the next string, right? So what I'm looking to do is get it right in the center. So when I pluck that string, it should hit right in the center. If it wavers a tiny bit, that's okay, because these things are not perfect. But you want to basically have it hitting that green, depending on how your tuner app is, right? So what I do is I have these little tuning knobs here, and when I pluck this string lightly, it picks it up, and that one looks pretty dang tuned. So when I go to the next string, it's a C. It's a little flat. You can hear, like, if I turn this way, basically away from me, it goes up, and if I turn it the other way, it goes down. So that's all you're doing when you're tuning it, is you're making the note higher pitched or lower pitched. So if I turn it down a little bit, I kind of just want to find that. So I keep sort of going back and forth ever so slightly until I get it right in the middle. Boom. And like I said, if it's off a little bit, it's okay. And then I'm going to go to my E, and my E is way off, so I have to go up. And now in this case, on these bottom strings, you turn it towards you. So it's opposite. This way, to go up in the pitch, you go to the left, and on these lower notes, you go to the right, until you hit it in the middle. Cool. And this one's way off, so I'm going to go down. It was way too high pitched. So the A, right in the middle. So C, G, C, E, A, G, C, E, A, la, 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 la. How's my hair? Feeling good? Okay. Sometimes I just like check my fro out. I'm like, is it fro-licious? It's fro-licious. Alright, so now that this thing is tuned, cool. So, what's really cool about a ukulele is that it doesn't require much at all. It's not going to be hard on your fingers. Like when you start playing guitar, it can really tear up your fingers. So those first couple weeks, maybe even months, like you're dealing with getting calluses and kind of getting your fingers right. The ukulele, nylon strings, kind of like classical, so it's much softer. It's just like a very soft, simple sound. So what's also cool is that just going like that sounds good, right? Right, so when it comes to holding a ukulele, unlike a guitar, which is going to be chilling in your lap, while you can have it in your lap, typically you'll see people play it kind of up here. You find what feels good for you, but what I do is I kind of have my forearm typically just sort of holding onto the ukulele. It's so light, so I kind of hold my forearm holding onto it, pressed against my body. Whoop, there you go. Trying to see myself, and then I just kind of strum. Before even worrying about my left hand, and this is for anyone who's right-handed, by the way. If you're left-handed, I'm actually left-handed, but I play all my instruments right-handed. I just made an executive decision very early on in life saying, you know what, if I'm going to get into an instrument, I want to be able to have access to it. There are very few left-handed instruments, and of course you can find them, but I just taught myself the opposite way, and it worked out really well. Sometimes I have these dreams, I'm like, I wonder what would have happened if I had played it left-handed. Would I be amazingly amazing? But it doesn't matter. I'm happy with my skill ability. So the first thing you're going to do is just get a light strum, and it's going to be awkward. You're going to be like, weird at first, but strumming is all about rhythm. So if you're dancing, if you're thinking about like, hey, this is me dancing and having a good time, right? Like, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing. It's the same thing with your arm. You're basically having your arm dance with the guitar. La, la, la. Basically like this. This is a very common pattern. It's like, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, or down, down, up, down. So you want to kind of just get comfortable just getting that rhythm. Don't even worry about your left hand again. But it sounds nice, right? It's like, la, pretty cool, simple. And even if you're just like, that's cool too. Don't mind those sounds. They're building a fence by my house, so don't mind those sounds being distracting a bit. Okay, so that's like a pretty chill strum pattern. There's a million strum patterns. You can even do like all downstrokes. So basically, to go to another point, I'm using, normally with guitar you might play with a pick or your fingers. Ukulele, it's pretty light, so you just use your fingers, and I'm kind of just taking 2 or 3 of my nails here and just kind of like, right? So that, if you notice that tone versus this, right, very different tones. So when I'm using my nails, which is one way to strum, and when I come up, I actually take my thumb goes up. But that's something you'll get used to. Don't be like too caught up on doing it perfect. I switch it up. Sometimes I'll just use my thumb and just go, or I use my fingers. Of course there's picking too, but when it comes to strumming, just feel what feels good to you. But typically I use these 2 or 3 nails plus my thumbnail coming up. Okay, cool. Now you got a little strumming down. Now we're going to work on this hand. So when it comes to guitar, people always think of chords. You've got your E, A, D, G, B. You got all the different chords. But what I like to start with ukulele is just taking one finger, and I use my ring finger to start, and just placing it on this string right here. So the way this ukulele works is it's actually a grid. If you see, you've got your first string, second string, third string, fourth string, starting from the bottom up, right? So I'm going to say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these are called frets. And the frets are actually these metal pieces, but you don't want to press on the metal piece, you want to press in between the metal piece. So this would be my first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, fifth fret, sixth, and so on. So it's like a grid. So if I were to say, place your ring finger on the first string, third fret, you find that on your little gridcito right here. Cool. And then you've got it. Right? And that sounds like going from this, right, to, it's just a beautiful sound. So what's cool is instead of getting all bogged down with having to learn chords and weird structures, you just start very simple and you're already playing a song. You could literally just go like this. Do that like you know how to play the ukulele. That's amazing. You can be doing that today. Night, I see that you want to walk to me. You can just hold on that note. There's lots of songs that are literally one chord. And then if you want, then you take your pointer finger and you just go to that first string, second fret, go down one, and then go back. Something up, but that's how easy instruments are. So I always tell people, start with one string, and of course you're strumming all the strings, but you're only changing that one note. And this is actually the beginning to a very famous song. Anyway, I haven't played it in a while, but it's Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh yeah, there. So many cool chords. And actually, you notice sometimes I play it up here, but other times I will rest it just a little bit on my hip, but still using my forearm to support it. Depends on the song, depends if I'm sitting or if I'm standing, I'm going to be like. If I'm sitting, I might rest a little bit and put it up. Some people play it like this, that's kind of weird. So that's kind of the beginning of it. There's obviously lots of things you can take those same strings and pick with your fingers, like. I mean, to me, the ukulele is like the ultimate lullaby. It's just a freaking lullaby, and listen, if you're trying to impress a partner or oh my god, this is the best thing for this. If you're in a relationship with someone, or like, you want to have that extra little thing, you'd be amazed what just learning how to play one instrument does. I remember in high school, I had this girl over one time, and she was talking about, she's like, so you cook, and you play the guitar, so you basically do like all the most attractive things that a man can do. That kind of stuck with me, and I'm not to say you're doing to woo people, but there's something nice about having those little tricks in your pocket where maybe like you're out one night and you're at a party and someone's got a ukulele and you pick it up and you start playing. Just doing something this simple is impressive to a lot of people. And you can even do that, so that's another great idea, is just letting go. Even just that, if you can just do this. Just the same thing we started with, on the 3rd fret, to the 2nd fret, the 1st string, and then to take all your fingers off. And then back to the 2nd fret. I mean, just that sounds amazing, and it's so easy. And one great way to learn is play along with other music. So if there's ukulele artists that you like, there's a guy named Israel. He passed away. He's a big Hawaiian dude that played this tiny little ukulele, and he made that Somewhere Over the Rainbow song famous, that version. He's the one that sings it. So even if you just like learn that song, or just kind of watch people and just strum along with them, just get used to that hand. Even if you're not playing the right note, just get used to that. And listen, I believe in you. I know that you can do this. There are lots of other things that you can do with the ukulele, but just start with that. And then what you should do is go online, look up other lessons, look up chords on ukulele, because there are chords that are very simple. And if you do play guitar, actually all the chord structures are basically the same, but just treat the ukulele like the top 4 strings of a guitar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. D, G, B, E of the guitar. It's just, I think, 5 notes higher. So it's the exact same chord structures. Like if you know the D, if you're a guitar player, there's this D chord. But now instead of a D, it's just going to be a different note. D, let's see, D, D. I actually don't even remember a lot of the chords, exactly the names. I just play by kind of intuition. But if you want to know, D, D sharp, E, F, I think it's no, this is a G. No, let's see. It doesn't matter. Point is, you can go look that stuff up online. But if you're playing the D chord, it's basically going to be your first string, Your middle finger is going to be on the first string, 2nd fret. Then you're going to take your ring finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then your pointer finger is going to be on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So it's kind of like this triangle shape, this like upside down triangle, right? Just making up words, I love making up songs. But point is, that's one simple chord. There's lots of chords. Cool. So I hope this helped you learn a bit about the ukulele. I'm not trying to give you like all the chords, because you can go find the chords online. You look up chords and they basically show you that exact structure of how to play. They'll like literally say which finger to press on which fret. So it's very easy, very simple, but it's more about understanding how this instrument works. Ukulele is so beautiful, so simple. Please learn. Send in some pictures. Subscribe to You Enjoy Life so you can continue to enjoy life. Peace out.